God, look at that poor little guy. He's shivering. Do you think he's an orphan or something?
No, worse. That's a second lieutenant doing a land nav course.
Are you nervous and scared of land navigation? Do you fear being trash and think that you cannot be the standard? Have no fear. I got you guys. Come take my hand and we're going to do this together. What is going on, YouTube? And we're back because of popular demand. And first off, before I even start off this video, I just want to thank for all the love and support that I'm getting on my first Army video ever. It was just helping guys with advanced camp, the guys and gals with advanced camp. And I'm getting a lot of love and support on the video, so I thought, why not help the people already there if they're allowed to use their cell phones, or people that are currently going. And it's basically 2018. I went in 2018, right? So all my tips are concerned around 2018, but I doubt things have changed that big of a way. And excuse me if I mess up, I repeat things, because I'm doing one take. It's about to rain currently in New York City. I just came back from the gym, so I am kind of tired. So let me give you a brief little autobiography about me, and then we're going to get into the video. So I'm a recently commissioned second lieutenant into the Army Reserve. I commissioned May 18th, and I completed advanced camp last year, 2018. During the time at advanced camp, I did very well. I ranked 10 out of 40, so I did get a good rating. So the information I'm giving you is based off what I went through in 2nd Regiment, and I'm hoping that this can help you. But on this video, we're going to focus on something that a lot of people struggle with, and something that a lot of people are nervous about, and it's land navigation. And I am not the best land navigation person, but I got every single point every single time. The only time I didn't practical is the only time I did not get all my points, so you need 1 out of 2 when I went in 2018. But I got all my night points and I got all my day points, and I'm going to give you tips on how to exceed at land navigation. So excuse me, I'm going to be reading off my phone to make sure that I hit all the points. And how we're going to structure this video is going to be stuff that you have to do before stepping off, stuff you're going to do during land navigation, and stuff that you do after, so that you just have a correct format and check off all these blocks to ensure that you're doing the best thing for them. So the first thing that you have to know when doing land navigation is to make sure, optimum popped up. All right. So the first thing that you have to be confident in doing land navigation. If you enter with the attitude that I suck at land navigation, you're obviously going to do bad. So the first tip that I have to give you is to be confident. You have to be confident out there. If you're not confident, you're going to fail miserably at land navigation. So if you struggle with written land navigation, then I think you need to brush up on it, get help from battle buddies and cadre, so when you go out there to the field, you're not completely lost. I'm telling you, it's important, because my written, I struggled a little bit. So me knowing that, I made sure to always do some type of land navigation review and to constantly ask questions. And this helped me exceed when I hit field land navigation. All right, now to the actual day of execution, right? So the day of execution, how they did it in 2018 is that you're going to get, of course, you get a quick run through, and then you're actually going to get a practical exercise when you go out there and actually look for a point. So during the practical exercise, if you potentially get 1 out of 2, then you're a go. But I strongly encourage you to get 2 out of 2. And I'm going to tell you why later. All right. Now, you need to ensure that all your points are correct. So double check, triple check, quadruple check. The last thing you want to do is be the first person to step off and then the last person to come back, because potentially that means you failed. So to make sure that you check your points, all the stuff that you're learning, all the stuff that you're reviewing, I strongly recommend that you check. Now, step number 4. Step number 3. Step number 4 is next. Step number 3. Use all the points given to you at advanced camp. So for example, in my previous video, I talked about something called attack points. So what attack points are is it's points that you use instead of your starting point to gauge where your point is. So I give you an example. They will give you water point buffaloes as points that you can plot. These water buffaloes can be used as attack points to then go to get your objective. For example, let's say if I'm at the starting point, I have water buffalo 1, water buffalo 2, water buffalo 3, 4, and 5. Now, let's say if my first point is close to water buffalo 3, I will go to water buffalo 3 using the road. Upon using that road from water buffalo 3, I will then shoot my azimuth to my objective. What I just did, I used an attack point to get to where I need to go. and you're basically decreasing your room for error, because whenever you get lost or whenever you lose track of your steps, all you do is back trace to that water buffalo and you keep shooting your azimuth from there. This is going to help you tremendously when you go out there and field land navigation, and I strongly recommend using this technique. Use the road. No one's going to tell you that you can't use the road or it's prohibited, so I strongly recommend that you use the road. Of course, don't get caught walking on the road the whole time, because you see casually you go into the wood line, but I strongly recommend using the road. It will be your best friend, especially if you're somebody that struggles with land nav. And 3 and 4 are clumped together. It's just to use the water points and also to use the road and like a culmination, and you'll be fine. So now, this is kind of a bonus tip. The reason why in the beginning of the video I told you to get 2 out of 2 during the practical, because these are points that you potentially can get during the actual day of execution. So let's say if you get lucky and you get one of your practical exercise points, then you know where it is, you know what's around it, you just can go punch it, and then there you go, you got one of your points. So I strongly recommend take the practical as if it's the real thing, because it may help you potentially save time or getting a point. Now, these are tips to ensure that during the time of execution that you don't get lost, or you always keep track of where your points are. So now, during the setup, so when you actually start from your attack point and now you're going to your objective, I recommend setting up checkpoints along the way to ensure that you're going the right way. So what do I mean by that? You could set up checkpoints through using terrain features or known places on your map. So let's say if it's a depression on your map while you're going to your objective that you know it's going to be there, during 200 meters, you be using pace speeds, and during your 200 meters say, hey, it's supposed to be a depression on my right, hey, it's supposed to be a hill on my left. That way, you're always keeping track of how far you're going and where you're at. If you do not know where you're at during land navigation, you're setting yourself up for failure. So please, you guys, don't make the mistake that a lot of people make. During going to your objective, you always want to have checkpoints everywhere. Matter of fact, everywhere you're going. If you walk on the road, it's supposed to be a bend at the road after Water Buffalo 3. Make sure it's that bend on the road, because this is going to help you during land navigation. You need to use checkpoints. You need to know where you're going, where you're at, where you're headed to, what you're in between, to ensure that you're going to the right places at the right time. This is critical. This is like die-hard critical. Next, know your pace count, right? So I recommend using pace speeds. It helped me tremendously. I had about 7 pace speeds hooked up to my flick. So what I did when I walked, had it, knotted, tick, 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 tick. So you just keep a track of your meters and your distance travel. This is important because if an objective is 800 meters away and then you just walk 2 clicks, then you're kind of lost in the sauce. So you need to know where you're going and how far you're traveling. That's like pivotal. Another tip is you want to make sure that you move with a sense of purpose. So I ran the course, but it's because I actually had my items dummy cored to me. So I don't want to have to worry about looking for things like maps and compasses. So everything literally was hooked up to my flick. My flick, literally, if I just went like this, my flick was just dropping down with everything, all of my items dummy corded to make sure I didn't lose it. During this exercise, if you lose like your map or your compass or your mouse gear, you consider it an automatic no-go, and you have to retake it another day and possibly pay for the equipment that you lost. So I strongly recommend to dummy cord all your items to you if you're someone that's kind of careless and kind of moves fast. And also, another tip, make sure while you're doing land navigation that about every 100 meters, you're just checking on your compass, you're checking on your map, you're making sure that you have everything needed. Because if you lose any of this stuff, you're basically wasting your time. You might as well just go back to the starting point and then just get ready to get reevaluated another day. So please make sure to not lose your equipment. This is like pivotal. This is like vital. You cannot lose your equipment. All right, so that's tips prior. This is tips during, and now tips after when you have all your points, or potentially you think have all your points. So when I went in 2018, you could get, I believe, 3 out of 4 points, and then you'll be a go. I recommend getting every point, and let me tell you why. Let's say if you get one of those points wrong, they do not send you back out in the field, and then you can go correct it. So get all 4 out of 4. So therefore, if you get one wrong, you have room for wiggle room. This will help you tremendously, because if you miss a point, then guess what? You're good to go. You get 3 out of 4. Now, if you get 3 out of 4 because you just want to do the bare minimum, and then you miss a point, now you're screwed because now you have 2 out of 4 no-go. We had a person that was pretty confident in my squad. He went. He got 3 out of 4. He finished early. He went. Cadre looked. They said, yep,
Nope, no go. He said, can I go back out there? And they told him no. So it's better to be safe than sorry. I recommend asking your cadre if they give you that, if they say you could go back in the field if you get one wrong. I don't know how they're going to do it now, but I'm just telling you how they did it in 2018 in his 2nd regiment. Another tip that you want to make sure that you do is make sure not to talk to anyone. You're going to have people that are struggling out there, and it sucks because you see, your future battle buddies, your future officers out there struggling, but don't get caught. We had some cadre like undercover, and if they catch you talking to any person, they'll get you. So just make sure to stay to yourself. Just tell them, sorry, I can't, or just point and just drive on. You don't want to get caught up in anything, and next thing you know, have to get sent back to your PMS with a bad evaluation saying that you were cheating, whatever the case may be. Also, another tip is to make sure that you hydrate. We had about 2 people heat cat during that navigation. You're so worried about getting on the points and you're so nervous that you're sweating and you don't actually realize how much you're working, because you're working through the woods, you're going through thorns, the trenches. So make sure that you're hydrating. All these are tips to do during and after to make sure that you actually complete the course. Also, make sure you have a working watch. Something that I didn't bring to advanced camp that someone blessed me with is a watch, right? I had a smartwatch. Smartwatches are a no-go, so I strongly recommend to bring a watch to always keep track of time. After every point, you want to keep track of time and then make sure that you're having a good pace. I can't tell you how fast or how slow to go, but you know the time required. I believe we had about 3 hours. Don't quote me. I can't remember off the time. But if you got 3 hours to get 4 points, you can pace yourself pretty good and effectively find every point. Another tip that I strongly recommend is just make sure you got to be confident out there. I know I said this, but confidence is key. If you go into land navigation saying, oh my God, I'm so scared I'm going to fail, you will fail. I'm telling you, you will fail. And that's about everything that you need to know to succeed at land navigation. For tips during the actual day of execution, in my first video, I'll tell you all the equipment to bring, stuff I recommend, like when you go to Fort Knox, Kentucky, stuff like that, as far as like map markers, extra laminated, laminated sheets and stuff. So you just could go back to the first video and know what equipment to bring. This is just what steps to do during, before, and after. That'll help you tremendously. So that's pretty much the video. Any questions, you can just comment. I'm always here for you guys. I want to make sure that all you guys commission and be Army officers. This is very important for us to succeed. Anybody else watching the video, whether they're doing it for like school, BLC, ALC, or stuff like that, I hope I can help you guys as well. So just write in the comments any more tips that you need. This is your boy Trills Uncut, and I'm out. Thanks, guys.
No, I don't walk anywhere. I'm flying in style, riding, cruising with the windows